Guys, we're going to be doing a little tapping demo using the Flexarm GHM-60, and we've got a couple of blocks here that we're going to be tapping. These are some 3-inch by 5-inch 1018 cold rolled steel blocks, and they are drilled 4 inches deep, and these are drilled using the Allied Machine indexable drill system there. Today we're going to be using the 2-inch tap by OSG. This is a spiral fluted tap, and I'm excited to see how this thing does going all the way down in that bottom hole right there. All right, so let's go ahead and get it installed. There we go. We're now ready to tap. I got a cup here. I'm going to be using some dark cutting oil to dip the tap in. I've also got another oil can right here that I'll continue to keep it lubricated as we're doing the cut. So I got my speed set. Let's go ahead and give it a dip. Get lined up on the hole. I'm going to go until it hits the bottom. There it is. That's the demonstration of the tap holder clutching out right there. We're all the way in the bottom of the hole. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just back it on out now. All right, there we go. We've got a successful tap using the 2-inch OSG tap. So that's 2-inch, 4.5 threads per inch, 4 inches deep. And the machine did an excellent job. There we go. Another successful tap, 2-inch, about 4 inches deep. I'm going to show you how we start up the Flexarm here. So you've got a control panel. You just slide this out with a touchscreen display, and up on the Flexarm you have 2 gear selections, and this represented right here, 1 and 2. So you have to make sure that you have this selected in the right gear selection. So we're in 1 on the machine up here. So you just make sure 1 is selected and then hit validate right here. Once you validate it, you hit start. And that's just that simple. And you can push that in out of your way. You have 2 variable speed controls right here. One is for reverse, this one's forward, this one is reverse. And that's how you change your speed. So if we come up here and I'll go forward with it. There's the slowest speed right there. All right. Reverse. Just that easy. Let's go tap some holes. Good looking chips there. There's the bottom right there. I think that was an excellent demonstration showing the capabilities of the Flexarm and being able to, turn this 2-inch tap into a block 4 inches deep. You can just imagine the strain that it would put on anybody having to do this by hand. Not that a lot of people do that by hand anymore, but I've got those big, giant Greenfield tap wrenches that are so long because you got to have that torque and that leverage to be able to turn these kind of taps like that. So having this capability for tapping parts like this with large diameter taps, whether it be coarse thread or fine thread, this definitely makes the job easier on you than having to do it, say, in a machine, after you drill a hole and you're having to run the tap in there. If you could come over here to the workstation like this where the Flexarm is set up and tap it, it makes it so much easier to do that. So I think the machine did a great job, and the threads in there look fantastic, and everything worked just like it should. So it's going to be nice being able to use this tap or some other large taps like that for some jobs in the future. So there we go, some nice looking chips, and I got a little cleanup to do, but hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this little demo. It's all the chips for the holes right there. This is a little cast part that I'm going to see about just welding back together. It's got a broken piece in it right there. This end piece broke off. And you might recognize what it is. It is the bottom clamp for the swivel base of just a cheap vise. I don't even know the make of it, but I know it's just one of those inexpensive cheap vices. And this belongs to my wife's grandfather, Harold. He brought this down. They always come down here to the Gulf Coast during the January month and stay down here in condo. And he brought this, and whenever I saw him during the holidays, he asked me could I weld it back together for him. So I told him sure, I'll see if I can stitch it back together. It's for a little cheap vise that they use at the condominium where they live. It's one of those places where it's a building where a bunch of retired folks live. So they each have their own condo in there, and they have a little, I guess they have sort of like a little maintenance room down in the garage that they, where they go and they got to fix stuff or keep their tools or whatever. And Harold was telling me that this vise has always worked fine, but somebody had clamped something in there and was pulling on it really, really hard, like a big piece of pipe or something, and that's when this thing broke. So I think I can weld this piece of cast back together. We'll V it out, and I'll weld it on both sides and then smooth it out there on that side there. And then that hex is just for the bolt to go through, just like that. That just holds the bolt from spinning and comes up through the top of the vise, and that's how you clamp it down in there. So in the real world, or the perfect world, should I say, you'd actually just go ahead and cut this thing out. But it's not really worth the time that you would go into cutting something this out unless it was a high quality old antique vise that you were trying to fix. But I'm just going to go ahead and weld this thing back together and give it to them, and I'm sure it's going to work just fine for what those gentlemen use that vise for. we've got our piece ground. Got all the bevels ground in there now. And the plan is what I'll do is I'll get it clamped down in place on the fixture plate here like we need to. And I'll go ahead and braze in one side. And then we'll flip it over. We'll flip it over on that side. And I'll take a little grinding wheel and just go ahead and grind right down in that root where the V is and get down into my brazing material. And then I'll braze over that side there as well. So that's the plan. And I decided I am going to braze it. I'm going to actually silver braze it. So we're going to be using the Eutectic, the Super 16 XFC. Back whenever I was working with Dad, these are some of those rods that my dad always swore by. He used them over the years, and he loved the high strength that you get out of these silver brazing rods there. So this is the sample pack that I got from Eutectic. So we're going to use them on this job right here, and I know it'll hold that piece great. It'll do a good job of holding that and have a lot of strength to it. All right, let's see if we can get one side this silver brazed. Just trying to get my hoses where I want them. I think we are ready to go. I'll do a preheat on it first, get the part nice and hot. I already started it earlier, just kind of warming it up, so we're going to roll with it now. Looks like that side flowed in nice. There's some nice welding, nice flowing brazing rods there. All right, here's the side that we just brazed. And what we'll do is come over to this side here that we have not brazed yet. And we're gonna take a thin cutoff wheel and right down in the very bottom of the V on both of these pieces there, that's a flux over on that side. We'll go ahead and just grind that just ever so slightly, just enough to get down into the original braze material from this side right there. So just grind that out. That way, whenever we go in there and build up this side, we have, you know, we're getting all the way down into fresh material there, and we're not going to leave any small crack down in there that's not welded up. that flux down in there, clean it. Now we're going to start adding some material here. I think we got her there. Put a little bit extra on there, but that's fine. We can dress some of that down. I love the smell of those eutectic brazing rods. It just has such a good smell to it. All right, we got her cooled down enough that I can handle it. So what I did is I went over to the bench vise and went ahead and added a little bit more right out here. Got that flown together in there nicely. And then of course this side as well, I went in there and added some more right here. And I don't know what this little piece is right here. I don't know what it's for. Harold didn't say anything about what this is for. It looks like something's broke off there. So I'm not really sure what this is, but obviously he wasn't too concerned about it because he's just going to be using it to pull it up, you know, to clamp it. So anyway, what I was saying was that I went in there and you can see we just kind of filled this area in. Just tried to give it a little bit of extra strength by adding some more material and coming around here and flowing it in and bonding to that little piece right there. So it's looking pretty good. Now it's time to dress it down to size and then file the inside so that the bolt will fit in there. All right, we've got our clamp plate finished up for the little vise here, and I think it came out pretty good. I feel confident that our braze has a good strong bond in there, and it should hold very well. And I think if this thing is used under normal circumstances, there shouldn't be any problems with this thing breaking again. We've got the hex went in there with the little triangular file and just filed that so that the hex sits down in there like that, and it kind of matches the other side here. You can see how that one fits in. So that'll keep it from spinning whenever it's mounted in there like this. Got it dressed down smooth, so it should be contacting on the edges there. I don't think that there should be any clearance issues here with the weld bead. I wanted to leave this on there just to have a little extra material there, but there should be enough clearance down there. It should be about like that to where this thing can rotate, not, you know, hit the mounting surface. So I think our brazing rods did good. These are again, it's the eutectic 16 XFC, and they flow in there nicely. Once you get to the right temperature, that silver brazing rod just flows right in there just like it should. So anyway, I'll be seeing Grandpa Harold next weekend, and I'll give it back to him, and I'm sure him and the guys there at the condo are going to enjoy having their vise mounted on their bench and working again.